So I did an administrative job for our county government for 4 years and absolutely lost my mind. I knew from even the day I interviewed that, like, I just kept saying, you know, she's going to college, she's going to college. And we were able to send her to school and I was able to contribute to the household. I was getting so many requests that I was literally, because I can't say no, I was literally getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to create before I went to the office job at 8 o'clock. And then I would come home, make dinner, and try to still get another hour or two in.
Thank God you love it.
I have like immeasurable energy when it's my passion.
Yes.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to elevate. We sing it loud and proud. We make our voices known. Nothing can shut them out. Elevate.
Welcome to another episode of Time to Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Ann Lucente. And whether you've been listening since day one or you're joining me for the very first time today, I'm so thrilled you're here and I hope you'll come back. And especially after this episode, you will. This is a space where we talk about resilience, life pivots, and the divine interventions that place people in our paths when we least expect it. It's all about the strength we find when we walk the journey together. So today's guest is someone I met by chance. I met through what I truly believe was divine intervention. If you've listened before, you've heard me talk about how the Woodstock Paltz Craft Fair has blessed me in many ways, far beyond shopping. I've met incredible people there who have become dear friends. So in September of 2025, I was going through a season where I felt a bit out of sorts and really needed time to just be. And that weekend, the craft fair happened to be taking place, so I decided to go on my own. As I was casually strolling through, I stopped at a vendor booth that was completely meant to be. And that booth belonged to my guest today. What started as a simple moment of browsing turned into something so much more. From that one stop came beautiful, meaningful memories for me and my family. And my guest today truly has a gift. But before I introduce her, let me share a little bit about her. She has always had a connection with needle and thread. Generations before her sewed and shared their skills with her. She has worked professionally as a seamstress, piece worker, sewing machine ambassador, pattern tester, and even owned a quilt shop for a few years. In 1990, her terminally ill mother-in-law asked her to make christening outfits from her wedding gown. She, along with her maternal grandparents, inspired her to create and repurpose precious items into keepsakes for family and friends. In April of 2022, she left an administrative job to pursue her craft full-time. She now creates custom memory keepsakes for others and makes fabulous accessories and seasonal decor in her home studio. She loves using unique prints, vintage trims, and thrifted items to create her own fabulous designs. So you can find her right here, but year-round on Etsy or at seasonal events in the New Jersey and New York area. And now she's here with me, and I'm super excited to welcome the incredibly talented Rebecca Szabo.
Thank
Yay!
you, Ann.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited about this. I'm so excited. I hope you're just as excited.
I am. My very first recorded podcast.
I'm so happy about that. Oh my gosh, I'm starting you off on a long journey of many podcasts and many people calling you after this because yes, I'm very excited. So before we start, I wanted to say that you are my first guest of the year. We're recording in January. You will drop in February. So you're my first 2026 guest. And it goes with my word of appreciate, especially today. I pick a word of the year. I don't know. Do you do that?
I do.
And so what is your word of the year, if you'd like to share?
This year it is transformation, but it's sort of a continued transformation.
Okay, I like it.
You know, as you mentioned, since I retired in 2022, every year I have a set list of goals that I'm going to grow towards. So I'm just going to keep growing this year.
Oh, I love that. I'm all about goals because I feel like if you don't have them and you don't set them, nothing happens. You're just like,
Yes.
I don't know, the years have gone by and there's nothing happening.
Yes. And
So,
I'm very, sort of easily distracted.
mhm.
I'm a focused artisan, but I am easily distracted by new inspiration. So if I have that core goal set in January,
Yes, yes.
um, so
So,
this
yeah.
year it's kind of all about me. So I am trying to gather up my many portfolios because, as you mentioned, I've had quite a varied career, always creative positions, except for the one administrative job that I left in 2022.
Mhm.
So I'm just trying to get that a little more organized to kind of look back and see where'd I come from, where'd I grow from.
That's great. That's
Because
so
I've been
great.
pretty focused on my new relationships and meeting new people and trying to make the home studio grow and can I do this full time. So haven't made, any moments for me. So this, especially the beginning of this year when it's a little slower for me.
That's perfect. And I feel like that's almost the theme. Everybody I talk to seems to be in that place of that. Like there's certain years where it's all about, doing other things and doing, focusing on the outside. But I think this year feels like an inside kind of, I feel like even getting strong. I feel like this year, I feel like even
Right.
physically strong and just
Right.
strong, making like just that, taking care of my body and being strong, which I always thought I wanted that, but I never
Right.
did anything about it.
Right. That's also, I've been on same thing, a similar, emotional and physical well-being journey, the past couple of years, but trying to now focus on the creative part of the journey and again, just reorganizing, that component of my life. Like what projects, have I not done for 10 years that I started and why didn't I finish them or why didn't I pick it up again? So,
Yeah, exactly. I agree, I agree. So I wanna start off without telling too much about what you actually do. Yeah, I'm gonna start in a different place, but I do wanna say where we met and how we met
yes.
because
Yes.
okay, so I'm calling it the Woodstock New Pulse. So the name of it is the Woodstock New Pulse Art and Craft Fair, right? And you said it's
Correct.
Quail Hollow Events, they run it, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you're saying it's the 45th year, which is amazing. It's the 45th year. You said
45th year.
they started in Woodstock and then came to New Paltz, is that what happened?
Yes, so they began in Woodstock, and then that venue, I don't know whether it still exists or they outgrew it. I don't
Mhm.
remember the correct backstory, but they moved to Ulster County Fairgrounds, and
Okay.
it's been held there as long as I've been going. So at least I attended the show as a consumer probably 15 years ago and went on and off over the years. And then 5 years ago, I decided to join them as a vendor.
Oh, that's
Um,
wonderful. I love that, and let me tell you that it's so fabulous there. And it makes sense to be the art and craft, fair,
yes.
because when you
Yeah,
say
because it
craft fair, you
truly
just it
it
doesn't give the
truly
justice.
embodies everything, and
Mhm.
they have demonstrations and food courts and
Yeah.
food trucks and all,
Oh
wine
my
and
gosh.
beer and spirits and,
Yes, and I have to say, I walked around that day. I haven't gone by myself, not that I don't do things, but I do, but usually the first time I went there, I'd met a dear friend, Chelsea, who is also I interviewed her here. We had never met in person. We're like, "Let's go," and then we met another friend, Holly, who is also has she's a vendor there, and we just and every time we go, it's like, I swear there's this divine intervention. I'm not gonna get into exactly what you did for me yet because I wanna talk about that, but basically, when I walk by your
oh
table
yeah.
and we know what you do with the memory and the keepsakes,
Mhm.
I was getting ready to leave. I had gone through, I did a little bit of whiskey taste, and I'm like, "Let me taste some whiskey." And I walked through. I'm like, "Oh, I don't know if I went through here." I just happened to glance over because there's so much there. Sometimes you just miss things. And and I saw you, and you were so wonderful and just so welcoming about I started talking to you about things I wanted to do, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like, it just opened up as I was talking to you. And
Yes.
what a wonderful thing. I mean, really there. And I do wanna talk about it. But before we start more, are you open to doing an angel card? Are you okay with that?
Sure.
It's just one word.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then I'm gonna shuffle, if you could see me shuffling. I don't know, can you see
Okay.
me shuffling sorta, kinda? And I probably will drop it because that's what I usually do. And then when you say stop, I'll kind of end up wherever that card is. And then we'll say, so you tell me when.
All right, stop.
Okay, it's this one. Oh, understanding. Can you say it? Understanding. Does that mean anything to you? Is that significant at all?
Probably kind of cycles into intuition. So I'm very empathic, and I like literally speaking to somebody. You can probably attest to this. Like, we either connect or disconnect almost immediately.
Yes.
So yes, greater understanding of the human spirit.
I love that. I got chills. I don't even know if I realized you were empath. I did from what we
Yep.
went through, but I was like, I wouldn't have even like when you said when we met, we connected. It was like
Yes.
immediately like, whatever. And I
Yes.
have chills just even thinking about it. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and that's been my life experience because I've always had like friends of all ages and all backgrounds, and I can sit with, even though I consider myself sort of an introvert and a shy person, I could sit with a celebrity as easy as I could sit with the janitor of the same,
That's so great. Oh my God, I love that. That's so great. And you can tell because you were soft spoken. You were. I don't want to say you didn't look shy to me or anything because you had the table there. You're not going to be there at this event, probably.
Right. No, you have to be socially on for that event.
You do. But one thing about you weren't pushy, and I find that with everybody there, honestly. I really found that with everybody. Some places you go, like if you go to like craft fairs around Christmas and blah, I just want to look sometimes. It doesn't mean I might buy something, but I don't like the
Right.
I don't like the jump on me selling me. I don't like that because then I can't think. I can't think of anything.
Right. And I think it's super important, especially in a very sensory overwhelming environment like that event. Like, there is people and there's music and it's weather and it's even though we're in a big tent, it's still outdoor weather conditions. So you're just dealing with, even myself being there, I've had this experience. You're so overwhelmed by everything. It's really important to not overwhelm someone that's trying to visit your booth and see what you have. And, I probably spend 75% of my prep on how the booth is going to look so that I'm not overwhelming the person that's walking by, because I literally might have 5 seconds of your sight line to engage, with you.
And that's what happened.
Yeah. And it may be the difference in just saying hello or smiling or, anything. And I don't believe that like every person through the gate is there for every single artisan. Like, you might just be interested in photography or a new piece of jewelry, or you might be there with your girlfriends. And it is hard when you're there with a group of people, I find, to see everything. Like, my girlfriends and I often split up if we're at a big show like that, and then kind of reconvene at lunch and say, okay, what did you see? What did you buy?
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
you have to walk it, I mean, I'm there all weekend for 4 days if you include the setup day, and there's still people that I come home and I'm going, wait, I didn't see that one. I didn't see their booth.
I can imagine. I've gone through a booth again the second time and thought I never went through the first time. But I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I did go through this one. Yeah, because it's just like you said, what you caught. And for you to say what I caught on yours, you had a setup, if I recall. So there was one section over here, and like on the as soon as I was walking by this way, and then that had lots of things and memory things and pillows and stuff. And I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." But you weren't standing there, which made I like that. That made me go there closer. I'm like, let me go closer. I don't know why. I mean, I would go if you were standing there, but I think I might have just passed.
And that I am very conscious of not like giving people space, because I like space. I don't like to be, stared at or like, you want to take it all in. Again, I only have that few seconds to engage you. And fortunately, so one of my very, very best friends, we call each other sisters because we are truly soul sisters. She was just able to join me this year. She's also a repurposer. But opposite of what I do. She works with glass and dishes and all these wonderful things. So her half of the booth is all sort of garden art and fine art. And then my half is what I do. And
Right.
that was even harder to figure out because now we have almost 2 audiences that we're trying to.
Oh, yes.
And
Yeah.
2 of us that are looking for a good place to stand because we want to answer your question if you have one, but we also don't want to be on your back. And
Exactly.
it's
I do
only
remember
30 feet.
you were with someone, and I remember
Right.
saying, "This is yours, right?" I remember coming to you.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
I like to do. I'm not saying I don't want information, but I kind of want to
Right.
be like, "I'll find you in a minute. I just want to look."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I usually just say hello and then let me know if you have, if I can answer any questions about her work, my work,
Oh my
whatever,
God.
the show, where's the restroom? That's
That is so yes, even that. Okay, yeah, right there. Oh
yeah.
my God. So before I'm bursting because I want to talk about this stuff, but I want to say first I want to start with you. Like, let's start with a little bit about you before, even way before this. Like, where did
Mhm.
you grow up? Where do you live now? What you kind of did along the
So
way.
I am a lifelong Jersey girl. I was born and raised in central New Jersey. I lived briefly in Florida and briefly in Pennsylvania for college, but I've always been a Jersey girl at heart. I do have a New England streak though, because my entire maternal family is from the state of Maine.
Oh,
So I have been there every year. I still
nice.
continue to go there, and I'm sort of very loyal to those roots as well. Um,
Nice.
my parents were super, super young. So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. They were sort of my parental controls and spent a lot of time with them. They were super, super resourceful and always instilled in me to repurpose and reinvent. And my grampy could fix literally anything,
Oh
like
my gosh.
anything. My grandmother would take my aunt's clothing, who was only 10 years older than me, and she would take her winter coat, and the next winter it would be my coat, or it would be my coat and a coat for my dolls, or something.
Oh,
Again, she was just like this amazing woman.
I
Worked
love
full
that.
time, took care of her family, including me. Um,
Wow.
and she's the one that taught me how to sew and, kind of engaged me in the needle arts. I
Mhm.
also had a paternal great grandmother she did a lot of crafting and handwork. Spent a lot of time with her, but she was very disciplined. She was not sort of your warm, fuzzy kind of grandma. She
Okay.
was you're going to rip it out until you do it right kind of grandma. Um, but
It's not
again,
a bad thing.
wildly
Not a
creative. Like she would make Christmas ornaments out of like blown eggs and walnut shells and like she just
Wow.
had a fabulous imagination.
Wow.
And super resilient. She was a single mom, way back before single moms was even a socially acceptable thing. So,
Mm. Mhm.
you're talking about somebody probably lived 125 years ago now. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I always thought, even though I was kind of intimidated by her, I was always super fascinated by her as well. And I was super fortunate to have great grandparents and grandparents well into my 20s.
Wonderful.
Um, my maternal grandmother is still here with us. She lives in Portland, Maine. She's going to be 98 in a couple weeks. And you
Wow.
would never freaking know it.
Wow,
Like,
that is
she
so
can
wonderful.
outwalk, out talk, and
I like hearing that. I like
she
hearing
just
that is
keeps
great.
going. She's like my favorite person in the whole world. And
Oh,
yeah, so
wow.
headed up to see
She's
her in a couple weeks, and we're super excited about it.
she's seen it all. Like, you
She
can't
has seen it all,
I can
seen
imagine
it
nothing really
all.
bothers her too much. She'd be like, "Pfft, what's that big deal?" Like, you
No, she just so she has a million, we call them gramisms. She just has a
Oh,
million like healing one-liners for you.
oh,
And
love it.
anytime life is like giving you a struggle, she just reminds you that it's all going to come out in the wash.
I
That is her favorite saying. I mean, she has a billion of them.
That's so
But yeah,
great.
she's the type of person that, like, whether you're a stranger or her granddaughter, she's
Mhm.
got you.
Oh, that is so great and so comforting, and what a wonderful thing, and what a wonderful
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that she's still here and,
Mhm.
and she's got a
And
work to
she's
do.
had, again, lost her husband and her
Wow.
daughter and, so many friends and family and, everything, but she just keeps on charging ahead.
It's
Like it just
great.
doesn't slow her down. She's like, okay, I'm
Oh
going to
my
keep doing
gosh.
this and you're going to keep doing this.
Oh my god, this is great, and so obviously that she lives then on her own?
She is in an independent living. She's
Okay.
fiercely, fiercely independent. So up until
Mhm.
2020, she was living in a great condo right on the beach in Florida.
Oh my
But she
god.
discovered that she literally had no one. Like we were all
Mm,
either in New Jersey or Maine.
right.
And, of course we would go and visit. She was right on the beach, but she literally had no one. And she was, in her early 90s and just said, I better get near some family to
Mhm.
so she thought about moving back to New Jersey. And then she is, of course, from Maine. So she thought about moving to Maine and she wound up picking an independent living apartment in Maine so
Wonderful.
that there's assistance when she needs it.
Mhm.
She's safe.
Perfect.
She has a great apartment. She misses Florida terribly, especially this time of year.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Um,
I bet.
because
Oh
she's
my
super
god.
socially active. Like she just wants to go out to lunch and go shopping and go for a walk and go here and go there. So it's a little more restrictive than she's
Mhm.
used to, but she knows that she's in the absolute best place.
Oh, that's great.
She's 5 miles from her youngest daughter, so
Wonderful.
she's in a good place, and we can all get up there and visit with her and
Mhm.
everything. She's trying to get her hands on a real ID so that she can come back to New Jersey.
Oh my gosh, she's
But that's been a bit of a struggle just trying to set up the appointment and get her there with all her right paperwork. Her
Yes.
last appointment, her birth certificate, her middle name was spelled incorrectly, so they
Oh,
wouldn't accept her birth certificate.
oh my
And I said,
goodness.
not that I want to break the law, but somebody that's born in 1928, they should just like give them a pass. Like
Exactly.
the
Like,
fact that she has a birth certificate.
exactly. That's so crazy. Oh my god, that is really wild. I love this. I love this story. This is so great. Oh my gosh. I feel like I wanna meet her now. She needs to be on the
Oh,
podcast
she's the
next.
best. She's the best. Yeah, she emails. We
Oh, I
haven't
love it.
Yeah, she really wants to FaceTime, but she tried getting an iPhone and it just didn't work without somebody being there with her for tech support.
Yeah.
It's a little difficult, but she would absolutely love it. So email
Oh
is
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, people are just blown away. They're like,
That's
"Wait,
good.
you have a grandmother?" And
It's so great. And that
she
she does all this
emails?
and she's totally like, yeah. Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yep. Yep.
That's really wild. Oh gosh. So now walk me through your journey of like what led you to this and your business now, and you can tell us what that is when you get to that point too. Like career wise,
Yeah.
like your time,
So
like.
just the evolution. So I have two amazing adult kids. One's 32 and my son is 32 and my daughter is 23.
Mhm.
Um and so I've always had the mom jobs. I've always had like worked I did piecework when my daughter was little because I could go to the factory and pick it up, bring it home, sew it, and then bring it back.
Ah.
I taught sewing and quilting classes wherever I could in the evenings. Always trying to stay like towards that creative sort of vein because I
Mhm.
also had a million retail jobs and, yes, you
Mhm.
get paid, but there's not a whole lot of creativity. So I always thrived best in a creative environment. So, my jobs were usually just part time.
Mhm.
Worked for a quilt shop whose owner wound up becoming ill, and a couple of my family members were like, "You could do this, you could do this," and so I had a quilt shop for a little while. Super
Mhm.
hard to have your own business, brick and mortar, when you
Mhm.
have little kids.
Yes. Yes.
So, it just wasn't working for me. So I did that for a couple years and um, just wasn't working. I'm much better off something that I can pick up when I need it, put it back down when my family needs me.
Mhm. Nice.
So I just kept doing that. Some of my cooler jobs, I've been an executive director of our local arts center.
Ooh.
That was great because I'm also a very analytical type person. So that
Mhm.
used all my analytical, critical thinking skills, but also was working with a whole lot of creative, fine art and musicians and all types of things. Unfortunately, the job position was grant funded and our grant didn't get
Oh,
renewed,
jeez.
and the organization couldn't afford to have any full-time employees anymore.
Mhm.
And my daughter was headed to college, so I said, yeah, let me get one of those jobs that like has paid time off. You clock in and out and kind of thing. So I did an administrative job for our county government for 4 years and absolutely lost my mind because
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you absolutely loved it. I was gonna be like, "What?"
no, I knew from even the day I interviewed that like I just kept saying, she's going to college, she's going to college. You need,
I hope she
you need
appreciates
to
me.
do
She knows what I'm
this.
doing.
And it just, I had struck up a friendship with a coworker right away that we had a lot of things in common. And she literally would call me from her cubicle across the room and go, "You're doing it again." And I go, "I know." I'm like staring into space and like making like sketches on my phone message pad of like things that I want to create when I get home.
Right. That's perfect.
Yeah, so it
Use
was
that time.
wonderful. I mean, we were able to send her to school and I was able to contribute to the household. But it
Nice.
ultimately, yeah,
Oh,
left me with
yes.
a huge decision in 2022 to like, I'm going to do this.
Wow.
So throughout my whole little part-time job, mom career, I was always meeting people that needed these interesting projects. So it started with my mother-in-law when she was terminally ill. We had her for over a year. And I spent a lot of time with her because a lot of her, she had cancer and a lot of her treatment was at home. And I was sitting with her one day and she said, "I only have one grandchild." She had another one on the way that she had met. She goes, "Could you please go to my mother's house, who was still alive, and find my wedding gown and make it into a christening gown for all my future grandchildren that I'm not going to be able to meet?"
Oh my gosh.
So it
Oh my
was,
gosh.
even though I was very confident in my sewing skills and I had the help of her mother, who was a dress factory worker, and my grandmother, who was a master seamstress, I was never so scared because it was this irreplaceable garment. And what if I cut it wrong? What if I messed it up? I
Mhm.
didn't. It worked out to be a beautiful dress.
Show me, show me. I have
So I have
chills. I
it
have chills.
here. It's very
Oh my
vintagey.
god, and the bonnet.
Yes, the
Oh, I
patina on it, the
love it.
lace. I mean, thank goodness it was
Oh
this
my
huge ball gown from the early
yeah,
50s. Um,
yes. Oh my
so I had plenty
gosh.
to work with. I actually was able to make sort of a romper little suit as well for
Oh, for boy.
any grandsons. Unfortunately, that was lost in a flood.
Oh,
Um,
no.
yeah, about 20 years ago,
Oh.
at my sister-in-law's home. So we just kind of passed this gown around. Nobody's worn it since my daughter, who is now 23. But
Wow.
how great that we have a tangible piece
Oh,
of her.
yes.
And it just kind of grew from there.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
done christening outfits for other people. I've done memory quilts for people.
Yes.
And just, it just truly grew organically because again, this is
Wow.
early 90s. So this is before social media. This is before
Right. Right.
really any, the websites, like this predates everything. So it was literally
Yeah.
word of mouth,
Oh my gosh.
as I was growing. So fast forward to when I was at this administrative job, I was getting so many requests that I was literally, because I can't say no, uh, and it's filling that creative deficit that I'm striving, that I'm, so
Yes.
desperate for during the day. I was literally getting up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to create before I went to the
Oh
office
my
job at 8 o'clock. And then I would come home, make dinner, and try to still get another hour or two in. Um,
Thank God you
and
love it.
and just kept, that I think I have like immeasurable energy when it's my passion.
Yes. Yeah, I get it. I totally get that. I totally get it.
And
Oh
it's
my
just, sort of grew for there. So it was a super easy decision in 2022. I had spent all of 2021 commuting from New Jersey to Maine to help care for my mom. My mom also um, had 4 battles with cancer.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, 4 different types,
Wow.
literally 5 years apart. So for the last 25 years, it was a
Wow.
different type of battle. Um, Survived some major operations and things. In early 2021, she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and she and we just
Oh,
had a very frank discussion
oh my
after she
gosh.
came back with her PET scan, and I just said, this is the one that's going to end the story. And
Oh,
she
I'm
said,
so
yeah,
sorry.
definitely will. So we
Oh.
spent a whole year back and forth. Didn't She and I didn't have a great emotional relationship, but we had a really good creative relationship. She was a
Mhm.
collage artist and a rug hooker and
Wow.
watercolors and just anything she fancied, she would just follow it. Um, and we were able to kind of center our relationship around that. We went to craft shows and we went to art shows and we tried to do as many distractive things, as
Mhm. Mhm.
possible. So
Oh
we
my
just had a
gosh.
lot of discussions and she said, "What are you going to do about this job?" Because this job kept calling me every time I was up there about,
Oh.
my desk was on fire or something. I don't
Oh.
know. And she goes, you're like, she could see how unhappy I was, and she just said, you
Mm.
you got to make a better plan. So that's what it was all
Wow.
about. And my amazing husband just said, "You know what, I'm going to give up my early retirement dream, and you're going to go and just see if you can make this work." So
Oh my goodness. That
yeah,
is so wonderful. He's
so couldn't
wonderful.
do it
That
without,
oh
that
my
little,
gosh.
sad part of the journey. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then that was my first, so early 20, so I left my job in April of 2022. I had
Right.
already applied to the Quail Hollow show.
Okay.
Did that in May. Was I ready? No.
Sometimes
um,
you have to make the plan when you're
yes.
not ready or you'll never get
Yeah,
ready. You just won't.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. I had some friends from New Jersey that had already been vending for a year or 2, and they were like, you gotta come with us, you gotta come with
Mhm.
us." And I said, "But I'm never gonna be ready. Like, I am never gonna be ready." And they're like, "Just do it, and whatever it is, it is." And,
Right.
when I look at the pictures of my first booth, it's pretty sad and pretty sparse.
But you gotta start somewhere, right?
But
And
gotta
then we
start
all
somewhere. I
right.
met some great people, started some great relationships, and it just kept growing. And I say that every year. I'm not one of those artisans that evaluates my events going, "Oh, well, I didn't make,
Mm,
50% or whatever."
mhm.
I'm not about those type of
Yeah.
analytics or statistics. I just said as long as I keep growing
Mhm.
and I'm still having fun,
Yeah.
um that's what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm just blessed because
Oh
it's
my
been
gosh.
challenging. Like events, especially in-person events,
Oh, yeah.
really are, if they survived the COVID shutdowns,
Mhm.
they're really struggling to come back to where they were. um
Right.
you
Right.
know
I agree, and I think it's great, like and I feel the same as you, though, I don't yeah, we all of course, we all if we have a business, we wanna make money, we wanna reach people, we wanna whatever, but I do the same, it's always like, if it's one person I've met, if it's whatever, I don't focus on
yep.
the money, even though we
Nope.
all, of course, need the money. I mean, it'd be
Right.
nice not to need the money. I would
Right.
love if we didn't nobody needed money, we just did what we wanted. I would be
Right.
so happy. Um, but, it's just when I focus ever in my life on the money, it doesn't work. I have like I gotta get
Right.
no money in my head. That's it. And
Right.
it's about the people in everything that you do. It's just and even like doing a podcast, this is my passion. I love this. I didn't expect to love this so much, but I don't even look at numbers. People be like, "How many?" I go, "I don't know. I
Right.
don't know. I mean, I'm just people are listening. I don't know."
Yes, I honestly, I don't know how many Etsy website visitors I've had or what my
Right.
Instagram following, you know,
Right.
is. I just kind of, I not really following trends because sort of what I do is sort of just such a unique lane that it doesn't influence
Mhm.
it. But it certainly helps that, things like cottagecore and thrifting and, those type of things are kind of trending and chic right now. So
Right. They are. They are. It's true. And I want to, if we didn't say it already, which I might have said it, but the name of your business is?
that's so fabulous.
Yes.
And I have like the best story that goes with that
I
name.
want to hear it because so is not spelled like S-O.
No, it's SEW. So I, again, having the quilt shop and having, done events and things, I've been, a couple different names and tried to always like, what would be a great name? What would be a great, this and catchy. So I was literally, doing little odd jobs and I had this really burly motorcycle guy. Like picture this big Harley Davidson riding, guy. He was going to Sturgis and he wanted some patches put on his vest. And I said, all right, yeah, I can totally do that for you. So we were around his kitchen table looking at his vest, trying to figure out where to put these patches. And he just looked at me. And at the time, I was trying to come up with a business name. And he looks at me and he goes, oh, we've got it. That's so fabulous, with his finger in his cheek. And I went, you just named my business.
That is perfect.
I was like, and I love a good pun. My kids are always like trying to come up with good puns. And I was like, and I'm going to spell it SEW.
That is perfect.
So thank you to him.
That is, I love it. I love it so much. Oh my gosh. So now I have to tell, okay, so I got to talk about what you did for me. First of all, my dad was a tailor. I don't know if I ever told you that. Did I tell you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And actually my married name, Szabo, means tailor in Hungarian.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yes.
That's really cool. That's very cool. So yeah, it was great. He would make clothes for us and he would do things like that. I can't sew a button, but thankfully my kids can sew. My daughters, I'm not sure about my son, but my daughters can sew and do things like that. I can't. I had to look at a YouTube to figure something out one time. I'm like, nobody's here. My father's gone. The kids are moved out. I gotta sew this stupid shirt. And I did it not well, but I did it. That's all I can say. Would not be my top choice of things. But okay, so I have to tell the story. Okay, so as I'm walking through, as I said, it was just a time of, whatever. I had my little kitty. I think I told you my little kitty was not doing well, and I was my little JoJo. So I'm just like, I needed to get out of my head, just whatever. And when I came previously for Christmas time, now this was September, so I was already thinking Christmas. My daughter-in-law had said, oh, a great idea for my son, her husband. So she's like, we have a message from my dad. And I have tons of messages that I saved just because I'm just a weirdo like that. I just always save messages from people that I think like, maybe one day, I want to hear it. And I had one that was directly to my son. She's like, oh my gosh, that message he has, maybe we can get a bear and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool idea. And I see you, right? And now this is on my brain anyway. And I start seeing you have these beautiful memory pillows. And I think one I saw might have been ties, right?
Yep,
and my father.
Yep, do a lot of neckties. Yep.
They look great. That one looks so great. I wish I had kept my father's ties, but when he passed, a lot of his suits and ties I gave to people, and my son took some ties that I know he wears as ties. So I was like, I don't have a lot of ties, but he loved them. Like he treasured those ties. So I was like, wow, what do we have? And I go, oh, wait a minute, a bear. Oh, can you make a bear? And I don't think you had an actual bear, but I started looking through the book.
I think that was the show. I think that was the show that I didn't have my bear sample or there's always like when you're packing for that show, there's always something that gets left behind. And that might have been the show that I forgot the bear.
I think you said that to me. I don't have the bear, but I saw it in the book. Bring the bear next time it didn't matter because I saw it in the book. So I was like, oh, wait a minute. And then my brain started going crazy. Oh my God, I have clothes from them and blah, blah, blah and whatever. And I started talking to you. You're so wonderful because I'm like, I know I was like, my brain was everywhere, like all over the place. And I was like, I have clothes and I would love to do a bear. And maybe I could do 3 bears because I have 3 kids. And then maybe I could do pillows. And my brain was exploding because now I have my mother's clothes in my whole head. And you were just so calming. I love you for that. And you were like, yeah, no, you know what you can do. And when you said like, I wouldn't be able to see you in person again, part of me was like, oh no. And then it was like, just send it to me, just mail it to me and whatever. Okay. So we were kind of brainstorming at that point. Honestly, when I mailed you the box, I had no idea what I was doing. None at all. And I have to say this for anybody who goes through this, I was panicked. Don't ask me why. Those have been stored in boxes for how long now? I can't even tell you, years. if something, God forbid, got lost or if something, whatever, it's not going to kill me, but probably emotionally. So I was terrified. And then when I sent it to you, I thought to myself, should I do this? Maybe I shouldn't do it. It was really ridiculous. My whole head was going in a different direction. And then, you got the box. It was wonderful. You met on Zoom twice with me. I am so appreciative. The first one, we kind of, I sent you pictures and then we were kind of trying to figure stuff out and I'd written stuff down. Then we met again before you did anything, which was so great because I think it's such a fear of ridiculousness. Like, what if it's not what I'm looking for? Whatever.
Right.
And you're so great at making sure it's what I'm thinking. Like you asked me so many questions and perfectly questions. Okay. But you being connected like that, we ended up making, in the long run, 3 bears, all of them, all different because I wanted different ones because they were different clothing and I wanted different looks. My son, my 2 daughters, and then I was like, okay, well, now I have to do I want to maybe I'll do a pillow because we had enough clothes. So do a pillow for my daughter-in-law. Then I'm like, okay, I'll do something for my sister and I'll do something for my nephew. And then I did 2 more pillows for my daughters because they had clothes they had saved, right? And then the whole thing. And then you're like, what about you? I'm like, oh, that's fine. I don't know. It's all right. Whatever. And then I'll take one of the little heart pillows for myself, whatever. And you were like, whatever. So we go through the whole thing and I'm still nervous. The box arrives. And I will say it was inexpensive to send to you. I was terrified because I thought it was a big box. But there's a way to do in the post office. The person working there was a friend of mine. She's like, no, you just do it. I forgot the exact what I asked for. So no matter how big the box is, as long as it's not a ton, you pay like a flat rate. I think I only paid $16 or something.
Right.
So because I go, it's going to be like $50. It's going to be like $50. Yeah. Yeah. So when the box arrived from you, now you had sent me pictures and I was afraid to even open the email, but I did look and I loved them. And then the box arrived. It was humongous. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't open it. I almost could not open it, but it happened to be my dad's birthday, which was so crazy. And I'm telling you, everything about everything you did was so divine and intuitive, and the whole thing, your empathicness came out because I'm opening and I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying, get a glass of wine, I get just opening it. And then you sent me an extra gift. I could not believe it. I'm going to show it right now. Hold on. I brought them. You sent me an extra gift. We had talked about it because turns out that one of the dresses I sent, you didn't even know, was my mother's dress that she wore to my wedding in 1989. And I had a picture that I sent you. And you sent me this beautiful, I hope we can see it. I can't tell you. This is the dress, part of the dress. Okay. But the fact is, I can't even tell you. I'm not just saying this because you're my guest. The unbelievable work you do. I have shown everybody and they are all amazed. And the inside is her jacket and it still smells a little like her. And so that the inside especially, and it's so beautiful. I cannot wait to use this. My daughter Julia got engaged, so I'm going to bring this to everyone. And when my daughter Victoria gets engaged and married, I'm going to use this. My mother's coming with us. My mother's coming.
Nice.
And also my mother loves pocketbooks, which is ridiculous. So we have to. Oh, and wait, I have to show this. And this is so I kept this for myself. This is the pillow with the little pocket still. This is and this is the sweater. The coolest part is I wasn't sure, and I said this to you. Should I get my nephew something? Because I don't think he's even going to want it. Is he going to want it? No. And then last second, you're like, yeah, we'll do whatever. We'll do, we'll do another pillow. I give it to him, and he opened it saying, oh my God, I remember this sweater. And I was like, oh, I'm so happy. So I can't even tell you how wonderful. And I want to hear your behind the scenes of making this pocketbook and the rest of it. Who intruded on you to make you do this?
Most of all of the projects that I do, it is like 95% conversation and 5% actual execution. I mean, some obviously quilts a little bit more labor intensive, but it's all this dialogue. Like when people tell me all the time, like, how do you set your pricing? I set my pricing by the hour. I go, I could never do that because I would be so unaffordable because I love to get to know people. I love to hear the story. Tell me your background. And through that, I can literally piece together sort of what that person needs. And I could tell that you were ready. I have had families that come to me too soon because they just, can't decide. And it's not because they're nervous. It's just because it's literally too soon. And some of that, I have it with my own thing. We lost a nephew in 2017. I still don't think I could do anything with his clothing. Just some are a little bit different.
Right.
But you had shared the recordings with me, the voice recordings that you had of your family members. And like the more you share, the more I can sort of get into the vibe. And that is sort of the hardest part, not being able to meet in person.
Yeah.
I would say well over 60% of my work is not local. It is people that just find me online and blindly, send me a box from California. And,
Yes. Yes.
and I try to interview them through
Mm-hmm.
messaging and get the backstory. So you had given me some snippets, the voice recordings. Um, just different. The fact that it was both parents, that took a little, like, I have to sort out, who's who
Mm-hmm.
and who's going to who. So you had made that awesome, diagram for me of this is what we need. This is, what we use, and keep talking about it. And the whole time we had not decided anything for that pink dress that was the dress that your mom wore to your wedding, and it
Right.
was just kind of sitting there, and it was glittery and it was great, but it wasn't right for a bear. Like, there's certain fabrics that just won't perform well for certain
Mm-hmm.
things. And I'm going, okay, well, it'll do okay as a heart pillow, but really you can't see the essence of that dress. And it just kept staring me in the face every time I took the basket out. And I went, so I believe it was our second call when we were really zeroing in on what we were doing and what we were using.
Right.
And I asked you, what about you? And you were like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, oh, what about like this purse? And I had showed you the clutch hardware.
Right.
And you were like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, yeah, but we have that pink satin dress. And like, it really keeps saying it needs to be a clutch. I don't know why. It's just telling me it needs to be a handbag. So by the time we got all done, I was like, all right, screw it. I have this piece of hardware that I've had it forever. And I'm like, I just need to see if this will work
Oh my
and gift it
gosh.
to her, because I feel like our whole, since meeting last September, like, we had just evolved to the point that needed to be a purse. And then when you threw on top of it that it was the dress that she wore to your wedding and
I
loved pocketbooks, I was just like,
I have
talk
chills.
about meant to be without either one of us consciously hearing.
We did, and you know what's funny? It's like, because my mother was quite bossy, if we want to go. If she wanted something, she'd never stop. And so the funny part is the fact that it was her dress, the fact that she loved pocketbook, and the fact that I did not realize and remember she wore the dress. I happened to be looking for pictures of the other outfits to see if I could find them wearing, and I was like, oh, she wore it to my wedding? No wonder she's so loud.
Yes. And what I really would love to know is if your father made that dress for her,
Oh
because
my
it did
gosh.
not have a store label in it, and I suspect that it was tailor made.
I have chills. I
So
wonder if he did. He may have, and I don't know. He may
so
have
it
done it.
it could also be like dress. So both of my husband's grandmothers worked in dress factories, and he
Yeah.
grew up in this little tiny borough of South River, New Jersey, where you either worked in the dress factory or you did other things. So here's his immigrant grandmothers working in the dress factories. They have, especially his maternal grandmother, gave me so much information about how clothes are made and how things are tailored. And it's ironic that you say your father was a tailor, but you don't sew.
Right.
Same thing. She had two daughters. My mother-in-law used Scotch tape to hem her pants.
Oh
Like,
my
she did not know a needle and thread,
God.
because as the children of factory employees, they wanted them to have, glorious jobs. My
Right.
mother-in-law worked in a bank, and, that
Mhm.
type of thing. But just knowing her work, like, she used to make sample gowns for Bob Mackie, like her factory.
Really?
And she was very detail oriented. So she worked up until her late 90s.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. They used to
Yeah.
like literally send work over to her to like hand
Oh
beat it and everything. So
oh
I
my gosh.
suspect that dress
Mhm.
it was tailor made.
Yes.
So whether it was made for like
Yes.
your little local dress shop,
Okay.
because those were a
Yeah.
thing. You went,
That's true too.
you
And
went
it
to your
was pretty
neighborhood dressmaker if you were having a special occasion, like a
right.
wedding, or you didn't just go to David's Bridal or
Right.
Nordstrom or wherever.
Yeah.
Um, I suspect, yeah, there's more
Yes.
to
Oh
that
my
story.
gosh. There is more to that story then because yeah, and that wouldn't surprise me if he did, but I never thought of it, or even
Yeah.
like you said, it was definitely a local thing or whatever. Yeah, oh my gosh. That is just amazing. I mean, he used to be I would be on my way going to a wedding and it dressed it and fit me, and I'd be running stop by the house. Dad, can you fix this? I'm on the way to the
Yes.
wedding. And he'd be like,
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That is just unbelievable. So yes, I can't even tell you when I gave it to everyone, my kids and my sister and daughter-in-law and nephew, there were tears everywhere. They could not believe it. And the added voice messages and put and that little backpack to hold
I
you found a little backpack. I couldn't
I
believe
was
it.
like trying to cut. So usually, like, things are marinating with me. Like, I have your box, but maybe I'm not gonna. I only work on one family's project at a time because I am like terrified that I'm gonna like mix up somebody's neckties with somebody's
Yeah,
t-shirts or
that's a good idea.
whatever. And what I truly love about how I'm growing is that I'm doing all kinds of things. Like, a large part of my business is memory keepsakes. So I'm
Mhm.
connecting with families that have family members that have passed of all ages and creating something tangible to hold on from their items. But I also, the last 5 years, I have this nice new percentage of brides that are taking their mom's wedding gowns or grandma or
Yes.
aunt's wedding gowns and making them into clutches and get ready robes and
Oh, I love
reception
that.
dresses and all types of things. So that,
Yes.
kind of gets me out of it. I've been doing, because my kids are young adults, they have a lot of friends with babies, and I've been doing first year's quilts. So I'm taking, all the precious little yummy smelling baby
Oh.
clothes and making, toddler
Oh.
bed quilts out of it or something like that. So there's, that kind of growth um there too, but completely just lost my train of thought. But so the backpacks. So as I'm,
Yes, yes.
sort of thinking ahead, like, okay, I'm going to do this and we're going to need this many things. And how can I get, I'm like, what you had asked me for an external way to put those little cute little hearts,
Yeah.
um, not inside the bear so that they could be, recharged or changed out or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
going, what the heck, So every
You
morning,
were so good though, you're like, "Yeah,
I'm gonna just think I'm a determined, like, I'm gonna make it work. Like,
Yeah.
I love a challenge, so just, make it work.
Yeah.
Um, so part of my morning routine because of the, self-care is riding on my exercise bike or walking on the treadmill,
Uh-huh.
and that's when I scroll Amazon or, whatever. So I'm like, "What am I gonna do?" And those little tiny backpacks came up, and I was just like,
Oh.
that
Oh.
talk about, again, internet intervention.
Yeah. Yes, that internet is so divine. Yeah.
Um, I was like, those would be perfect for
Oh
Anne's
my
bears.
god.
Okay, they're all
Oh my
getting tiny backpacks. Let's hope that the heart fits in
so
there.
perfect. So perfect. I mean, the added touch was it was so funny because, having the message or whatever, and like I said, when my son opened it, the first thing he said, and he's 32, he opens it and he goes, "Oh, a bear. I love it." And I'm like, he didn't get it at first. And I had taken the picture. I don't know if I didn't tell you this. I had printed wallet size of the clothing. I was going to
Okay.
separate into each, and I'm like, nah, just give them all that. So I printed wallet size pictures, put them in a little envelope, and then just gave it to them. And I said, okay. So he opened that, and I was like, ah, and I said, oh, just, and then he knew when he pressed it, he was like, oh my gosh, it's Poppy. And I go, and those are his clothes. And he said, what? Like his face, everybody was like, what? Like, everybody was like just crying. It made the unbelievable difference and being so personal. Unbelievable. So has there been any kind of unusual requests that you've had? Is there anything like truly like out of the box that you'd be like,
Probably my most, I won't say unusual, but challenging, was a memorial pillow for someone's dog that had passed. They had lost their dog.
oh,
And obviously pet loss is very
mm,
valid.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and I was trying really hard not to like have allergies or anything, but they had given me
Oh
all
no.
of the dog's toys
Oh,
and bedding that were just so entrenched
yeah.
that I had a physically tough time getting through it.
Oh,
And they literally wanted a collage of all the dog's toys on a pillow that they could then embrace. So
Oh.
I met the need. I did it.
Oh my
But it was very
gosh.
difficult for me as an artist, to get
Oh,
through. Um,
yes. Yes. Oh my
I've
goodness.
had so my one of my reorganization goals this year is, so last year I began a journal of like each order and where it went to and things like that. I had never kept track of that before. Um, but I was just curious to see by the end of the year, how many necktie pillows did I do? Where were they
Yes.
going? So my most interesting destination was someone's niece that is a curator at the Louvre. So she is
Oh.
now sporting a necktie bag from neckties that were from the gallery shop at the Louvre. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
super. And her aunt I met at the New Paltz show.
Oh,
Fascinating elderly woman. Fascinating.
really?
That happens to summer here in New Jersey. So we've made all kinds of wonderful things for her
Oh,
family.
that's
Um,
wonderful.
so I'm just kind
Mhm.
of curious, like, where's my stuff,
Mhm.
ending up. So I just had another couple of necktie bags that are going to Australia. I
Oh.
normally don't take orders after December 15th because I
Mhm.
just need some time to gather my
Right.
thoughts and, prepare for my own family stuff.
Right.
And I had a repeat person reach out to me and she's like, I'm leaving on January 6th. Is there any way you can get these done for me? I'm taking them to Australia. I was like, yep, Australia. Yep,
Oh,
yep. Curtains open. Yes, I want to be there. So I'm super intrigued this year to kind of focus in, expand that, how we met, where's it going,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Because I love seeing, like, send me a picture of the pillows on your couch, or,
Yes,
your
yes.
little guy cuddled up in bed with his first year's quilt.
Oh, I
The
love
brides, of
that.
course, always have beautiful, beautiful photos, of them in the dresses or with the clutches or anything like that. So, and
Oh.
just, keep growing that way, and hopefully I can just keep making this work. So,
So, I wanted to ask do a little a little either or fun thing. I say
okay.
either or, you tell me either or. Okay, so sewing in silence or music playing?
Oh, 100% music on full blast. And again, because I had such young parents, my dad was my rock concert buddy. Like, we
Oh.
absolutely love 60s, 70s, 80s rock. We've been to a ton of shows. Um, so music has to be on.
Perfect.
And I am literally crazy for anything. My son is a musician. Yeah, he had a death metal band in high school.
Great.
So drummer,
Yeah.
bass player, all of the above. Don't know
That's wonderful.
where. He's the only musician in the family, immediate family. So I know all about, his genres. I've taken him to shows. I've taken my daughter. My daughter is a huge One Direction fan. So
Oh,
I've been to many of their shows. So
yeah.
yes, absolutely music, music, music kind of thing. But it could be like
Perfect.
any genre, anything from like Bee Gees. My
Mhm.
father's probably rolling over right now because I said that out loud. Um, to, Rolling Stones,
Mhm.
anything.
I
And
love
lyrics
that.
are super meaningful to me too. So I'm
Yes.
very like into,
Mhm. Me
just to
too.
give you a little heads up, my fall collection at New Paltz will be centered around music.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, very cool. And so you're gonna be in New Paltz when then? So you'll be there
Memorial
coming
Day weekend,
Memorial and then Labor
Labor
Day?
Day weekend.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect, perfect. And I'll put the link in the show notes too for their events and all your links too. So that'd be cool. All right, so that's good. All right, so I like the music thing too, and I'm the same. This is why we connect so much because 'cause I'm the same. I go for the words of songs, and of course, I have to like the song, I mean, melody or whatever. But I am from Barry Manilow to Kiss to Led Zeppelin to Carole King. This is just me. It's like it's all over the
Right.
spectrum.
Right.
Okay, so are you a? I'm wondering. I don't know what the answer to this one would be. Planning every detail or letting creativity lead.
Oh,
That's a hard one, right?
see, this is where my split personality comes in because I have super OCD but I also have ADD. So, um,
And you're also an
so I could
empath,
be
so you have to go with
right. So probably best way I can answer that is, so I'm literally staring at I have an old dining room hutch, that is, I call it my button bar. So it
Yeah.
is literally canning jars. I'll send you a picture of it, filled with
Yeah.
buttons, sorted by color and sorted by type, because I
Okay.
can't stand being in the middle of the creative moment and not being able to find what I need.
Mhm.
So all of my thread, like, I spend an enormous amount of time organizing. So
Yeah.
my craft supplies are sorted by season. All my Christmas stuff is, that top shelf right up above me is all Christmas craft supplies in their cute
Okay.
little boxes. All my fabric is folded and color coded.
Oh,
So
I love
so
that.
that's a 50-50 answer. That
It
is
is a
a
50. I think
I
we're gonna go
speak
right
to
down the middle
both.
on that.
Like, I
It's
have to be
yeah.
organized, but I can also be in
Mhm.
creative chaos at the same time. Like, literally,
Right.
if you looked at my sewing table, it is an explosion of the first year's quilt and a Easter hat bonnet thing I'm trying to work on out of my brain.
I love that. I love it. That's right. And you have to be organized. You need to know where you're finding things, but you also
Right.
have to be open to different creative things because
Right.
then otherwise you close it up and you wouldn't
Right.
be
And I'm also, because I'm building that trust with your
Mhm.
items, like, I'm super, super diligent. Like, I is the second it hits my house and I get that box, I reach out and let you know that the box is here.
Yeah.
Then I write it in my little my incoming order book kind of thing, and kind of look at the calendar, and then I put it in its own little bin,
Right.
separate, so that, and then I only take out that bin when it's ready time to work on your family's project. So
Mhm.
um
Yeah.
so a lot less chaos on the custom side.
That's good. And you are very your communication is wonderful. It's great and I love it. I just love that. It's perfect. And because we need that because we're all worried about our stuff.
Yes, yeah, and I totally appreciate that, because I'm the same way when I send it
Mhm.
out. Like, I am constantly tracking
Right.
it to make sure that it's getting to where, and if it slows down, I'm like the first one at the post office. Like,
Right. Right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, so wonderful. So, early morning creativity or late night inspiration?
So I am early morning. Like, I do all my best planning, like,
Mhm.
first when I wake up or in the shower. Like, I work out an amazing amount of things in the shower.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
isn't
oh,
that
I can't
amazing?
figure out how that goes together.
I need to put a pen and paper or a little
Yeah,
recorder in the shower.
I have a notebook literally right outside the bathroom, because I have run out and in a towel written things down, like, okay, eureka, I just solved this problem, or
It's true.
figuring out how to set up my booth, or again, staring at the ceiling in my cubicle.
It's true, it hit you at the craziest moments, you're like, "I gotta write it down, I gotta do something." Oh my gosh, so those are great. So, you told me a little bit about this, but, like, a day in the life of you, what give me if they might be different, but choose one.
Yes, so that was so I was super nervous about working from home,
Mm,
because I wanna be productive, but I
yeah,
also, want the flexibility that I could take a friend to an appointment or go visit or
mhm,
whatever.
yeah,
Um, get my grandson off the bus, whatever I need to do. So I have a friend that's she's a long arm quilter. So that is someone that takes your quilt tops and makes them into quilts. And it's this huge machine.
wow,
And she's been a home based studio for about 15 years now. So I was like, how am I going to do this? She goes, you just treat your day like it's a regular work day. She goes,
mm,
I have regular studio hours. I am in the studio by whatever time in the morning. I take a
mhm,
morning coffee break, I take a lunch break, and then I am back in the studio until a certain time. So, on the days where I know I don't have any conflicts, I am working by 9 a.m., try to break for lunch around 12, back in from 1 to 3.
mhm,
And I try to, not get too distracted. I don't do social media. I don't do anything, during those times.
mhm,
Um, so that was a challenge for me in the beginning, to just treat it like a
right.
regular day job where you leave the house and work externally. Of course, the whole COVID movement of everybody working from home,
Yes.
we all figured out how to do it.
We did.
pretty
I think
well.
it really, to say a COVID positive, pandemic positive was
Yes,
learning how much we can do from home and how well we can do it,
right.
when we need to. So I think that was a positive from that, from
Yep.
various things. So that's really, yeah, that's cool. So it's very important to do that. Some people cannot work from home. Some people just
No,
cannot do it. They're just
no.
like, I'm
And I
not
even
diligent.
said that when my husband and I took literally a month-long trip. We have a travel trailer and it was brand new to us. So our second camping trip was for almost a month down south. We went to Florida and Georgia and Carolinas and
Nice.
everywhere. And we just talked about everything. What were we
Hmm.
going to do next? And
Hmm.
that's what I said to him. I said, let me just try it for, a year or two. And if it doesn't work, I'll get another job and go back to work.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I did last summer. There was a art studio that needed a gallery assistant. I
Hmm.
went to work for the summer. It was okay, but
Right. 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 Yeah.
didn't give me the flexibility that I needed. So help them out, help them get started. It was only part-time, but
Yeah.
it's working.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. So I have a signature question that I like to ask. Can you share a moment in your life or your career or personal life when you had to show resilience, experience divine intervention? We had a lot of that, or had to pivot in a big way, which you kind of told us a lot, but is there anything else?
I just gotta think about that real quick.
You did share a lot of that. So,
Yeah, yeah. Probably I've gotten pretty good at getting bad news in public.
oh,
So I literally was my 1 week a month home when my mom was getting towards the end of her battle, and that's the day she passed away. I had just walked into work.
oh my
And I
goodness.
literally took the call and just had to I knew it was coming. I mean, I
Yeah,
knew it was coming. I thought I was going to be physically with her when it happened.
right,
But it
right.
was literally my week. Because that job, my desk was on fire. I needed to come home for a few days.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, so, I've just couple of times gotten really crappy news while either at work or in a very public the nephew that we lost, I found out about his accident literally while I was talking to someone. Another family member walked in. I was at work and they walked in behind them, and I could just tell from the look on their
Oh
face that
my God.
first of all I was like, what are you doing at my job?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so having to pivot, having
Oh my
to
God.
be, resilience, I think, is always that's just, and I get that from that fantastic grandmother that I have. You just take every situation and meet it and be like, okay, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna
Right.
get through it?
Yes.
Um, and I think that's important for us to pass on to younger women or to,
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. I come from a long line of, my mom was one of 12. My dad's one of 8. The women in these families are strong, so strong, unbelievably. Because even if we had something and you're going through something and something, is sad and they'd be like, okay, you've got maybe half a day, if that, and get up, get moving, get
Yeah,
doing what you got to do, get out of bed, and that's
yeah.
it. And that's what, and they went
That's
through a lot
what
too,
I learned from, sitting with my mother-in-law. Didn't drive. So going to treatments or anything, we kind of shared the responsibility. Um, and I had taken her to treatment one day and she's sitting there and she was a very upbeat person, just so upbeat. And for all the people that say, oh, I can't stand my mother-in-law, I had the best. And I only
Mm.
had her for a few years of my life. So
Yeah, that's
but she was
oh
just the best. And
gosh.
she would look around the treatment room and she would go, what about that child over there that's getting treatment? What about that young mother? She goes, I am a grandmother. I have seen two of my children get married. Like, she just kept talking about everything that she had done and
Right.
not things that we were going to miss her for. So anytime I start to get mad about it. I'm like, okay, she wouldn't want you to be mad about it. She'd want you to
Right.
think about what she did for you and not,
Right.
and what she did experience rather than not. So I kind of
Right.
live that,
That's
try to
important.
live that way is like, like you
Yeah.
said about the show, if you don't do it,
Right. Right.
if you don't say yes, you're never going to be ready. So let's just
Exactly.
do it and
And
find out.
And it's a wonderful thing to focus on the positive things and the things that are good than the things that are going wrong. Everybody has
Yeah.
it. Life happens. That's what
Yeah.
happens in life. It's
Yeah.
happening. It's not just you. It happens to everybody.
Right.
It depends on how you react to it and what's going to bring you. It's not saying we don't get sad or upset or any of
Right.
that. You have to focus though on the
Yeah.
good stuff.
I think the personal losses that myself and my family have had have helped me hyper focus on my clients that I meet because they're also
Mhm.
experiencing the same thing. So I can, again, the empathic thing, like I've literally
Yeah.
walked it. So
I love it. I love it, which makes it's so extra special. I can't even say enough how extra special. And we're going to share photos, and I'm going to share photos of all the things. And anything else? Is there anything else you wanted to show me on screen? I know you showed me the christening
no,
dresses.
no,
You're
no,
good.
no.
Um. Also, anything I didn't ask you about or we didn't touch on that you wanted to share?
Mm, Not that I could think of.
Okay, good. That means we covered lots of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so to close things out, would you share your favorite quote or mantra?
Yes. So I have a million of them. Oh, actually just fluttered down on the floor. So it is this little
Let's see.
tiny
Ooh, okay.
scratch on thing. So my dad had the best penmanship.
Oh.
But he was also a bit of a squirrel. So he like literally left little scraps of paper and wadded up everything, like just everywhere. I actually found this little scrap of
Oh
paper.
my
He's been
gosh.
gone. I'm horrible with death anniversaries. He's been gone probably if my mom's been 8, 10 years, somewhere in that
Mhm.
neighborhood, 10 years ish.
Okay.
And it said, "Don't let your past control your future."
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I
So
love
my dad was someone
that.
that struggled deeply with addiction
Oh,
and anxiety issues and confidence issues, and just spent the last few final years of his life really trying to be the best person he could be.
wow.
He had a lot of regrets and didn't like to seek any kind of outside help. If you went to a therapist, you were not only crazy, you were not just whatever.
Mhm.
He was a tough guy. He was definitely a tough guy, super hard on himself. So when I found this,
Wow.
it just reaffirmed that like the light was on for him and that
Oh.
he got it. We had some of our, even though I have great memories of concerts and things that we did together, I have some of the best memories of like final conversations that we had about being okay and you
Mhm.
know
I
that
love that.
that happened, didn't happen, it is what it is. But leave it in the
Right.
past and
Yeah,
don't let
that's
it control your
perfect.
future. And so I try to, again, anytime I think of something that's like, oh, I can't do that because, this one time 30 years ago it didn't work.
Right, right, because sometimes it's just not the right time, right? And
Right.
and and you
Right.
gotta you're not in the right place, whatever. Things all of a sudden
Right.
happen that didn't work before, suddenly they're working. How did that happen, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And just
So
let it not have so, again, with the OCD and
mhm,
when you do have someone that is going through cancer treatment and there's so many things out of your control and
yes.
you certainly can't control future events. So
Exactly,
just kind of
exactly.
lean on that knowledge
Mhm.
and
Yeah, and we don't have to be perfect. I've heard a lot this year, people saying progress over perfection.
love
So,
it.
so perfect. I know. And would you send me a picture of your dad's quote written
I
out?
will.
Can I
Yep.
share that? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be so great. So tell me, where can people find you? And I'll make sure to put the links in here too.
Yes. So I do have an Etsy shop, which you can see samples of my work and some of my items that are available for sale. I post everything on Facebook and Instagram. So that's so fabulous. SEW fabulous. Post everything on social media. What shows I'm going to be at. The new Paltz Woodstock. I feel like that's my only show. It's not, but it's it's my favorite.
It's your favorite.
We have a great county-based program called Made in Monmouth County, where I'm from.
Oh.
That's twice a year, so that's coming up May 2nd, and it's usually a December event where all things that are made in Monmouth, literally crafts, foods, all things, wineries, distilleries, are at Brookdale Community College. So that's coming up in the spring. But
that's
yeah,
wonderful.
that's all the ways you can get me.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to post the links. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited that I will see you in a few months. Not even a few. A couple.
Yeah, I know. I'm
3?
just like,
I don't even know. 5.
January's already blowing by.
I know. I'm going to see you there. That's very exciting. Oh my gosh, too. And I want to give a quick shout out to my daughter, Victoria Lynn Purdy, for creating the theme song for Time to Elevate and singing the theme song for Time to Elevate.
Awesome.
But I'm so thankful for you. Oh my gosh, Rebecca, thank you so much for not only being my guest, but for just being in my path.
Yes. Well, thank you for my very first podcast experience. And
the first of many.
Yes.
Oh, so wonderful. So I will see you soon.
Okay. Have a great weekend. Stay warm.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Life gets tough, and I know it's hard to cope with the unknown. For all of us, I know it'd be easy if we were perfect, but we're not. So we go to find our faith, to find our hope. It all begins with looking up. It all begins with you. It's time to